Welcome everybody to the IWC first IWC meeting of Legion of Ironwolf Clan here, the Order of Justice in the class order hall. So, let you guys know, we got a bunch of things to talk about, of course. Me and her wanted to go through all the specs, of course, go into the lore of the game a little bit because a lot of stuff has changed. I haven't seen the holy weapon side yet. I was gonna try to diverse myself into it, I guess. So I haven't been playing a full red spec on my artifact weapon. I've been bouncing around with, so put it that way, guys. I haven't fully got my gear up on my paladin, but it will be geared. Don't get me wrong. I'm just gonna get the monk geared first for the IWC progression guild or the rating, obviously in the guild. So with that being said, guys, I will turn the floor over to Herm. We'll start talking about Prot. Herm, you have the floor.
All right, guys. So, with the start of the expansion right now, Pally is actually doing really well. You're able to stand up front. Your self heals are strong. Your mitigation is not bad, and your DPS is actually matching that of the DPS in your party. Um, Big thing is you're trying to lead off with haste, and then crit and mastery right behind it. You can kind of run them equally. You don't need a lot of versatility, and everything else will just kind of fall in line from there. Uh, has anybody else been running Prot as a main and had good successes or anything they want to share?
Holster's been running it, and I've been running with her. Um, I used to back in the day play Prot. I haven't given it a chance personally. Um, I just literally hit 110 yesterday, so my gear is I'm only at 814. So, um, but I've been focusing on red.
Did you say haste was the main thing?
That's what I've been pushing. Depending on the website you hit, they're going to tell you crit is your primary.
I was reading the forums and it seems like haste is kind of like an unknown excellent stat for a lot of specs. It seems like
So haste crit or haste mastery.
I've been running it haste primary and then crit and mastery equally.
Okay.
Is there any other questions for Brett?
have you done a lot of prot since I guess the most recent patch? I guess they like with the 10%, the so-called 10% DPS nerf, and I guess they did a nerf to your self heal. I'm not really sure what that's called because I
Yeah,
don't
that
play prot that
happened
much, but
yesterday.
Okay, so that 10% nerf, what it was, and this was for all tanks across the board, was just a 10% damage reduction. Um, from everything I have seen, it honestly has not hurt tanks at all. It just kind of put them in line with DPS, vice being ahead of them.
fair enough.
Um, Other than that, when you're looking at your talents with Prot, be careful. Some of the choices on there are absolutely geared towards PvE, whereas others are more geared towards PvP. Um, so you'll be switching about three or four of them. Notably, like in the first tier, Holy Shield I have found does best for PvP where you're reflecting spell damage, but in PvE, Blessed Hammer seems to be the favored one since it's helping to reduce the damage coming in at you off of the melee. Another one is like Last Defender. I found that one to be really good on the level 100 tier for PvP, but Righteous Protector is doing better for PvE, so that you're able to get off more of your lights, light of the Protector, self healing your as much as you can.
So you don't use the middle talon on that as PVE?
Seraphim, I don't, only because your Shield of the Righteous is what is your active mitigation. Okay, you get 3 charges of them, and your Judgment helps reduce the recharge time of that. Haste also helps with that, but you'll wind up burning through those pretty quickly. Seraphim actually takes away those charges to give you that boost of nearly 5,000 to your secondary stats. But for just the active mitigation, I would rather have the Shield of the Righteous charges, vice burning them up for some stats.
You know how Knight Templar reduces the ordeal with your steed? Wouldn't you want to put Cavalier with it? Or I see how you have Retribution Aurora.
The Retribution Aura is mostly from PvP. Uh, One of the ones I saw recommended was Blessing of Spell Warding, just because it's only a 3 minute cooldown, and you could pop that for incoming like massive spells. But with the amount of movement that's required right now, Cavalier would probably be the best one for your PvE, just so that you can get across the board as you need to.
That's what I was kind of looking at, switching the tank just for PVE to kind of gear up and do some mythics. That's why I was just curious.
I have a question too.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm new to Pally and loving Prot. A friend of mine plays Prot. Uh, he's more of a red though, and he was going over my talents with me and said, "Well, hey, if you really want to do better in dungeons, you need to take Blessed Hammer and Bastion of Light." And I agree with that as far as survivability, but isn't Consecrated Hammer and First Avenger just as, I mean, it may make me a little more vulnerable to damage, but it increases my DPS.
So yes, to that assessment. Um, First Avenger. Well, I'll talk about that one first. I really like that one, but I have found that that one does better in only single target or PvP situations, just because of the damage increase and it's not bouncing your shield around.
Okay.
With a lot of the pulls that are going on, ads that come into fights, and so forth, um, having First Avenger removes your multi-target capability of your Avenger shield, so that actually decreases just how much aggro you can immediately get off. Um, Blessed Hammer is, like I said, right now the recommended one for PVE, just because of the damage reduction that it's doing, um, as like an offensive mitigation. Uh, Consecrated Hammer, I haven't played with too much. I've been running it, running with Holy Shield mostly.
Why did you pick Holy Shield?
It's mostly just spell reflection, and it's something I just have not changed around. When running around in the world, the amount of casters that are out there, being able to reflect back 10% of the damage they're doing at me, um, helps me edge out a lot.
Okay.
So for PVE, you would actually take Blessed Hammer over Holy Shield?
Yeah, PvE, Blessed Hammer, PvP, Holy Shield.
Okay.
Okay, gotcha.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Another row to also look at is the level 45 one. That one's kind of a user's choice. If you're doing mostly PvE, as a tank, being able to put out um, basically a 1 minute sap with repentance, not a bad thing if you're trying to get your party past a group just to squeak by in an area. Um, Blinding light, that's another nice AoE damage, but you got a minute and a half cooldown on there, so pick when you want to use that one if you want to use that one. Fist of Justice is just all around really good in PvP for just being able to chain stun as fast as possible.
Is there any more questions for Prot for her?
All right, I would guess pending that, let's bring it to Stewie for red.
Alright, guys. Just to let you guys know, I haven't fully fleshed all the stuff out yet for Ret, but I will be coming. I will be definitely looking into more playstyle choices for the Retribution Paladins. So there's always the PvE side of PvP, and then also the PvP side. So always different choices what you gotta do. Some of you guys like Heaven's Touch. Some of you guys that actually got the gear and actually have been through all these little mischanges here. Um, I played with most of every single talent and combination I can think of to say, okay, this might be better than this way, this might be better than that way. Um, because I mean, it's better to come at you guys with an angle than it's actually because it's all down to playstyle because every playstyle is different, of course. Even with the artifact weapon that we didn't bring up in Prot and see what the different changes are than those. I know more about the Ashbringer right now, but that's fine. Um, Talent choices I find really good for PvE. I'll just run it down. Final Verdict, Zeal, Blinding Light, Vempert's Blade, Eye for Eye, Cavalier, and then Divine Purpose, sometimes Holy Wrath too, depending on the fight. So, choices
What did
are
you say
there.
your level 61 was?
61, it was 60. 60 is Ventil's Blade. Far left one.
Virtue's blade.
Oh, Virtue's Blade. Yeah, my pronunciation sucks sometimes. I'm sorry. So, there's a playstyle there. I got a little more better with, with like the level 15 talent. Play with all of them. I'm not really a fan of the concentration gameplay, but it could produce a little more DPS with a bunch of mobs around you. You could go just basically a multi-target paladin. You could do that. Execution sentence is kind of lackluster. In the final verdict, it seemed to more you push out a little more damage, especially when you're popping the cooldowns. So I seemed it a little better. As far as the 30 talents, Zeal I found it's more predictable. It's a little better than Crusader Strike. Um, Fires of Justice, I really didn't like it. It, I mean, it does what the toolset says, but it just doesn't seem to fit my style of gameplay. And the Greater Judgment, it's not the best, but it's very situational. I mean, you gotta wait for your target to be 50% out, and then you get two additional times. It's very good for multi-targeting. Don't get me wrong, but that single target really not the best. 45. It's just about situational CC. What do you want to do there? I like the blind with the war stomp. That's is my gameplay. I always like that gameplay with the blind war stomp combo. Then the Hodge. So I always like that extra CC there with the Rubuk as well. Viral Blade, it seems a lot more trustworthy as a passive talent myself, but I have flirt with the other two. Divine Hammer, really not the best, but obviously that's what I've been playing with so far. IFI is definitely a good choice for us in a 75 talent. Eye for Eye seems a lot better in PBE. Um, if I was going PvP, definitely Jester's Vengeance would be better. Also, if I'm getting trained in the arena, then I would go Word of Glory. Um, 90 talent, it's just, you need that mobility, and that's what it is. Cavalier's mobility. Seal Light, really spend an extra holy power that I really don't want to keep up. It's more of a, if you can keep it up, it's better, but it's just all it is increased movement speed. So it's really, you can get the movement speed out of it, but Cavalier is a little more easier in PvE and PvP. You can definitely get through some areas that way. Um, I like to have on the Hunter talent. I like to have that passive there over the Crusader and then Holy Wrath. That's basically an awesome one for PvP. Some of the honor talents I would like to mention. I've been looking around. I haven't got them all yet. Divine Purpose, uh, Pursuer, basically the middle bottom one, basically. Really going to be coming into a very play there because you get an additional two, holy powers. So just breaking down more of those, people, and then some of these other honor talents in the ret are kind of dull. I don't really see a really good couple ones here. There's some really awesome ones here, then there's really some kind of ones. Far as the Ashburner goes for build it up, hopefully you guys got all the way up to Ashes to Ashes. I went the long way around, so the very long way around to get Ashes to Ashes. I went straight down, then over to the Wrath of the Ashburner, then came back all the way up to get Ashes to Ashes. You could have went the other way around, but that's more of a PvP angle. And then, like I said, I haven't got all of it completed yet, of course. Um, so I mean, yeah, definitely, yeah. I mean, yeah. Hope you're right. I mean, some of those fucking honor talents are gonna be super amazing. So I can't wait to start getting on those because this is, like I said, my PvP guy is gonna be strictly my Retribution Paladin is strictly for PvP to make sure there's no divine in the guild between PvE and PvP. That's why I have two different tunes to make sure you guys have fun. So we'll break down the questions. You guys have any questions that you want to comment on or something like that to help the other people out? Like Hope, Heaven, Kraken Skull. You guys got some questions that you want, or did that pretty good?
No, I've been chatting with Hug Me, and just been like I said, I just hit 110, so
Yeah,
and I've just been doing a lot of open world stuff.
of course.
I mean, I'm super, super, super low. I mean, I've only got, just like I said, I'm 815 item level now. So,
Yeah, about 800 myself. So
but yeah, I've switched a couple things around here and there. I just switched one of my talents that you had that I kind of like. So, let me look at it real quick. Actually, I wasn't using Cavalier. I was using Divine Intervention, but that was out in the world.
yeah, even Cavalier can come out really good out in the world, especially when you're in combat and you're trying to get out away from
Yeah,
something. I mean, it's just so more utility, and plus you can mount inside. I mean, you can mount inside. That's
yeah,
crazy.
it's cool. You can do it in here too.
Yeah, I mean, So I
Have you
mean,
played around with Crusade?
yeah, I have a little bit. When I played around with it, I was doing some dungeons and stuff. It it kind of is good, but I was gonna try it more in the PvP aspect of it because that increase of damage and haste, I kind of might just see it for a useful kind of maybe a really good way to do it in the arena. I could definitely see it in the arena, but I can't. I gotta see it in the battleground area as well. I kind of want to switch it up just a little bit here once I get my monk done, which is be this week roughly. So I was gonna try Crusade out, and then try. I was this is my new setup. I was gonna try. I was gonna try Crusade, uh, Seal of Light, then go over to keep Eye for an Eye, and then Divine Hammer, and then keep Blinding Light, of course, and then maybe switch to uh, the Fires of Justice, and maybe go Execution Sentence or Concentrate, just to switch up the gameplay just a little bit to see what works and what doesn't work with the certain talent builds. Because there's always going to be a default talent for me, or default specker, if you will, cookie cutter, if you know what I mean. But there's always I would like to try it out in different ways. Obviously, once I get my monk done, then I don't have to worry about that. I can throw that on the shelf and then get back to my retribution paladin. So and see what actually works. So I will next meeting definitely will get you to at least tell you what's going on with it. How about that?
I can throw in a couple comments about this,
Sure.
mostly from the PvP perspective. So, I mean, as far as the talents go, I mean, I like execution sentence because there's definitely a struggle to connect to your target. The execution sentence allows you to spend some holy points from a distance. Plus, if you can time things right, you can get some serious bursts. If you get things like if you're going off, you get that execution sentence, and then you get a Templar's verdict, or even better, a Justicar's vengeance into a stun. So you can time like some pretty big hits using execution sentence for PvP. I don't have big problems with holy power generation. So as far as that honor talent goes, where the Divine Punisher, I actually think
Yeah.
that might be a little overkill. I do like that first talent, Lawbringer, which gives you that hard 5% extra damage and increases that duration of the Judgment debuff,
Yeah.
increasing your damage across the board. I don't have Amber's Reckoning, so I can't comment on that. But
Okay.
instead of Virtue's Blade for the 60 talent, I like Blade of Wrath because that's my biggest generator for consistent Holy Power generation. That's reducing the cooldown in general when you get Blaze of Wrath
Okay.
for that move, so you can get more Holy Power out there quicker.
Uh,
Definitely suggest Justicar's Vengeance because I mean, pretty much if you just stun them, you land that hit, that's going to do a ton of damage. And if you do it right, the next move you're going to do is you're doing your Wake of Ashes, and you have that Ashes to Ashes talent. So that's two Justicar's Vengeance back to back. Plus, you're then applying that dot and that massive burst damage from your legendary weapon. It's just huge damage. I mean, I've
oh
pretty
yeah.
much killed people in 3 global cooldowns with that, so
Oh yeah.
it's pretty powerful. I don't suggest Crusade in PvP. It's just you have to spend your holy power to get it to ramp up, and it's not you can't guarantee you're going to be able to connect. And that's the problem. It's not dependable. But Holy Wrath is great if you're in a bind and it's coming close down to the wire. You're low, they're low. Even if they're like half health, you're still in the game until you're dead with that Holy Wrath, and that's nice.
Yep.
So when you're using execution sentence, what do you use as your opener?
So I mean, the first thing I like to do is get Blade of Wrath, which is the 60 talent. It turns into that. I like to get that on cooldown, and I use that on cooldown. So hopefully, like the Judgment, you want to get it on them, and it does a lot of damage. But the problem is you want to make sure that you have that applied so that when your execution sentence actually does the damage, that debuff is on them. So I mean, usually what I'll do is that'll be like the first thing that I use. So I get in there, I'm gonna build the 3 holy power. So I'm gonna use Blade of Wrath. I'm gonna try to hit him with a Crusader Strike. That sets me at 3 holy power. That's when I launch my execution sentence. I'm gonna put that on them. Now I'm gonna throw down a Judgment. I'm gonna probably do another Crusader Strike. By then I should have this Blade of Wrath back up to generate an extra 2 holy power. In which case, if I'm not looking to stun them, then I'll probably throw out a Templar's Verdict at that point. If I'm looking to get a stun in to get some big hits with Justicar's Vengeance, then I'll start building up some more holy power with whatever I can at the time. But the thing is, I just can't suggest opening with the Wake of Ashes because if the opportunity presents itself where you can land a stun, specifically a full 5 second stun from Hammer of Justice or 6 seconds, however long it lasts, that's plenty of time, okay, to land two Justicar's Vengeance. And you can do that if you use it, your Justicar's Vengeance, and then you use Wake of Ashes to generate 5 holy power immediately. Because it's like so much damage on them, and if there's any damage done on you, it heals for 100% of the damage that you do. So that's huge, like pressure relief off you getting your health up. So
Oh yeah.
it's a huge combo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's just your hope you got it on lockdown, dude. I know.
Yeah, I pretty much never use Justicar's Vengeance unless they're stunned. Like it just to me, the 5 points, it might be worth it because it also heals you. But I mean, you got some other stuff. I just think it's a little more efficient DPS wise for just going Templar's Verdict if they're not stunned. But it's good to get a team like a teammate that synergizes with you. So like somebody that has stuns also is great for you because that's going to give you basically free high damage output Justicar's Vengeance when your Hammer of Justice is on cooldown. You can't get stunned. With that being said, Fist of Justice, go-to talent to reduce the cooldown on your Hammer of Justice.
Yeah. I hope you got that more locked down than I do. Yeah. Thanks for your input, Hope. I really do appreciate that. I suppose the only person that's actually playing holy right now is Baby, and she can't talk. I guess I don't know if her mic's muted or something like that. I have no idea on her end. Um, so I don't know why she can't
I
talk.
mean, I'll be honest with you. I've definitely been maining holy. Like
Oh, really? I mean, I have
I just
no
did
input
red
on
at the
holy. I'm
start.
sorry, man.
I just did red at the start because, to be honest with you, it was a little. I didn't even level red. I just did it in PvP because they like, couldn't handle
Okay.
healing in PvP early on.
Okay, like I said, I have no input on Holy. That's the only thing that me and Herm don't have on lockdown yet is the Holy spec and how it actually works now. I know how general basics it works. It's basically, somewhat stand at melee range and just heal like a motherfucker sometimes with some damaging and stuff like that. But you want to break it down so we can understand it a little better?
I totally can do that.
Oh,
All right.
bro.
So I mean, I think so. I mean, I played all three specs quite a bit, and I think holy is my favorite one by far. Um, so basically, for the 15 talent, for now, for my PVE setup for mythics, okay, I do bestow faith. It's just really good. It's a low mana cost, and it's after 5 seconds, it can heal for a lot. So it's a nice to put that on yourself if you're a little low, but you got to heal someone else. Even
Okay.
I put it on my tank. I can put it on my tank. Trust that it's going to go off in 5 seconds, and maybe I get time to DPS. So I do. I use that a lot. I pretty much use that on cooldown.
Okay.
For the 30 talent, the Divine Steed charge is nice, but I think the best talent you can go here, especially if you're running Mythics, is the Rule of Law. That's going to increase basically the range of your mastery. So, like, the idea for your mastery is the closer you are, the higher bonus you have to your healing. And it's actually a pretty powerful mastery overall, I'd say. But the Rule of Law helps alleviate the downside of that, which is to say, when you're in a group, it's not possible for everybody to stack on you to receive
No.
the best possible healing. So this helps take care of that a little bit. That's why I use Rule of Law, and I'm probably going to keep it even for raids. For the 45 talent, it's really a preference choice. With that being said, I would say for PvE, I would not use Binding Light because it breaks on damage. To me, the whole point of this tier is to CC, and the point of CCing in PvE, I think, is to reduce the damage that's being put on your team. In Binding Light, you're just going to click it once. There's going to be AoE damage cleave, and it's going to be broken immediately. So I do not suggest that. Overall, I would suggest Fist of Justice. That's going to reduce the cooldown of your stun, your single target stun. So if you have like, there are some instances there these ads are doing like massive AoE damage. This
Yep.
allows you to contribute to CCing them so that you can alleviate the healing that you'd have to do. And
I
Fist is
got
pretty
you.
solid if you don't have like a someone that can do a hard CC like a Hex or a Poly or something like that. So if you're lacking in that department, I'd get Repentance. 60 talent, Devotion Aura is what I like. I just don't see the healing from Aura of Mercy really being enough, and I don't even like. I'm not into this Aura of Sacrifice at all. If I need to use some sort of sacrifice type of thing, we always have Blessing of Sacrifice. So,
Yeah.
um, with that being said, I think Devotion Aura is excellent. It would be nice if the aura was a little bit further. Usually, I like to just position myself so that it's just me in the tank with the aura, because if you read the tooltip, it was confusing to me at first. It just says it reduces 20% of the damage, and it splits that equally over the number of allies in the aura. So that means if you have two people in your aura, each person is going to be 20% divided by two. So it's a 10% passive damage reduction. So that's actually pretty big if you're thinking about 10% constantly being reduced on the tank. That's huge. It loses its effectiveness, I think, overall when it's split up through the entire group, but with your aura mastery, you get 8 seconds, and you can increase that through your talents for your artifact up to 10 seconds, where everybody gets 20% damage reduction. So that can be
Ah.
a big lifesaver in a high output I guess encounter. I like Holy Avenger because I specifically synergize that with my Avenging Wrath, where pretty much my Holy Shock, which is like the best heal that you've got for the Holy Priest, the Holy Paladin, sorry, because it's instant cast, it's got double crit chance, okay? And when it crits, it has a chance to increase your flash heal or decrease the cast time of your Holy Light. So that's a huge
Okay.
thing. And when you synergize that, the Avenging Wrath talent with your, or the Holy Avenger with the Avenging Wrath cooldown, I mean, we're talking like the burst is just unreal. Like I can take a team that is basically zero health across the board to full health with a single crit holy shot. Okay, like that's
That's
also
sick.
coupled with Beacon of Virtue, which we'll get there in a second.
Yeah.
For the 90 talent, oops, my bad. For the 90 talent, I have Avenging Wrath, so that just increases the duration. The Sanctified Wrath, that just increases the duration of Avenging Wrath. It just allows me to have a little bit more uptime on big burst heals if I need it. Usually,
Yes.
what happens is I burst heal, and then it's like it's so overkill that now I can DPS, and it my burst puts me on par with that. So for the 100 talent, so this is where it gets a little different. I'd say for mythics, five mans, it's like you better be using Beacon of Virtue. Like it's a no-brainer. I mean, there's just too much damage. The tanks, for the most part, are really able to sustain themselves up for quite a while. The issue that I find is the DPS just takes a lot of damage. And if you're not running Beacon of Virtue, you're going to have a hard time keeping your group up. Beacon of Virtue is basically a must-have for your dungeons. With that being said, as a raid, I think the role of the Holy Paladin in a raid is the tank heals, which is exactly why in a raid I would swap to Beacon of the Lightbringer. Now, Beacon of the Lightbringer is pretty cool because it actually allows you to have your mastery. It also includes the person that is your beacon. So if you beacon the tank, you can be on the other side of the raid, say with the ranged group or the ranged DPS, and you can still have the full effect of your mastery on the tank and perhaps the other tank that's standing right next to him. So that provides you a great opportunity to keep your tank up while still staying in a safe environment. So that's why I would choose Beacon of Lightbringer
Gotcha.
personally.
Gotcha.
Um, I guess I do a lot of PvP too, but I mean, I don't know if you guys want me to go off on the PvP stuff, but I don't want to waste all your time.
Oh, I got plenty of time. Cause myself, I'm either gonna go holy, I'm gonna go prot. Most likely, I'm gonna be going holy, so we can get this covered, and so Herm can play his prot and ret, and I could play what I used to do. I used to play a holy paladin through every expansion, so I might go back to it again, or might go prot. But I think I will be going holy again. So just point out the goods and bads, the pros and cons, real quick. Just don't, take some time on it. Just get the pros and cons.
All right, so I think so. A lot of people say that you can't PvP with the Holy Paladin until you get Avenging Crusader. I'm not 100% sure that I agree with that statement. Okay. In twos, I would say I was running twos very successfully last night with a Shadow Priest. So I was surprised that this was the case. Okay. I was thinking, okay, Shadow Priest, they just get rolled over by melee. I'm having a hard time staying up against melee, but we were doing really well. And I mean, honestly, the 100 talent for the twos, the Blessed Hands was working excellent for me. I mean, the thing is that you have to realize that after you use either your divine shield and your blessing of protection, you get that forbearance debuff for 30 seconds. So you want to try to work it out such that you are using your bursting heals in the 30-second downtime, and basically you're like, as soon as I noticed the melee guys were bursting on me, and I'm talking like a demon hunter burst, which is just absolutely insane right now for PvP. It's just, I think, broken as all hell. Plus an assassination rogue. So this was a comp that we went against, and they both just tunneled me at the start. I saw they were bursting on me, and I just blessing of protection on myself. Yep. So I got blessed hands. So that gives me two charges of this. Okay. So then I had like 8 seconds or 10 seconds where physical attacks did nothing to me. So that's great. Now, coupled with the second tier talent, Divine Favor. So, this I think was really the game changer for the most part because, I mean, as a Holy Paladin, we still have to cast and we have to do some of the more casting than some of the other healers, like the Resto Druid. And the monks just super, like, they're so mobile that it's like they can escape and cast. We don't have that. But I think a lot of people haven't caught on yet that Divine Favor doesn't allow you to be interrupted on your next Holy Light or Flash of Light. So I oftentimes pop that and cast my Flash Heal on purpose to get them to interrupt me. So they waste their interrupt. Then after I can free cast. So when you couple that with also time where you just can't be taking any damage, so like you don't take damage, for example, then your blessing of protection goes away. Then you use the divine favor. You basically get a free cast. Okay, they've blown their interrupt because they think they can interrupt you. then you just have free casting time. That's going to buy you plenty of time, especially if you also using your 20% damage reduction, divine protection. That's going to buy you plenty of time for that forbearance to wear off to get another blessing of protection or even using divine shield. And I mean, I think we lost 2 games last night, and it was basically like bull crap reasons why we lost. So I mean, they were some of them were super close. So divine favor, which where's that? Yeah, divine favor is the tier 2 talent, the third one for PvP, and so it increases the effectiveness by 100%, but you can't be interrupted. So that's huge. They don't people don't realize. I don't know if it does like that like silver like casing around when you cast it or not. I'm not sure if they see that. So like indication that the spell is not interruptible. It looks different than a spell it is. I don't know if they see that. But in general now, these melees are just so face roll that they see a cast bar and what do they want to do? They want to interrupt. And the thing is, when you look on the forums, they're like, "Oh, all you have to do is fake cast." But it's now the damage is so high that you're gonna waste half the time fake casting. You're gonna get yourself killed anyways. This just talent just takes care of that issue because they try to interrupt you. They waste the interrupt on trying to interrupt something that's not interruptible, and now you just got 15 seconds of free cast without the 5 second lockout. So that's huge. That is huge. I totally suggest that by far among that tier for sure. Um, I mean, I think the Holy Paladin is in a good position for PvP. I can't wait to get Avenging Crusader because I don't know if you've seen videos of it. Basically, it turns you into all the DPS that you do, turns into healing. When you couple that with your beacons, you're doing super amount of heals, and it's going to be crazy for arenas. I'm not sure how that's going to work out for RBGs, and I think we're too early in the season to really see the flow of RBGs yet. I mean, damage is high. I'm not
Oh
sure
yeah.
if people are just going to roll 3 healers or even roll 4 healers, where that fourth healer is rolling something like
Or
a
just go
20.
all demon hunters and fucking assassination rogues, right?
Say
And
that again?
monks probably gonna go probably demon hunters and or havoc demon hunters, all assassination rogues, and maybe a couple monks, right?
Yeah, I think the best comp right now is just 10 demon hunters.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm just kidding. But the thing is, like, the damage is so high, and I think people are still trying to figure out how to deal with that in the RBG scenario.
Oh yeah.
And with that being said, RBGs flow a little bit differently, where you have time to do these burst heals. And I'm telling you, like, Holy Avenger coupled with Avenging Wrath, the healing that can output, especially when you use Beacon of Virtue, is like absolutely insane. It is just crazy. Like, I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys have done the Neltharian's Lair, and you have that last boss that does the magma wave or whatever, and it's basically a guaranteed group wipe. I've successfully healed through that the entire team because we fucked up and destroyed the pillars that we're supposed to stand behind by using my burst, Holy Avenger, and Avenging Wrath, coupled with Beacon of Virtue, kept everybody up through that easily. Okay, and so when you like in PvP is also just completely insane.
Awesome. All right, guys. I know some people are leaving right now. That's all right. I mean, that's fine. But the only thing I really wanted to go into else besides going through all the specs tonight was a little bit of the lore. Now, I know. Should we spoil some of it, or should we wait another month and tell our thoughts and complaints about it? It's up to you guys. I mean, do you guys? I mean, do you want to just want to wait until next month, and that way everybody has time to explore all the different weapons and all the lore that behind it? Because I would definitely would like to say my comments about a couple things. So I think we should hold that for next month. So we'll talk about a little more of that. We'll go into details if they change anything up. Is that all right with you guys?
Yep, sounds good to me.
All right, guys. Just to let you guys know, you guys were recorded, so I will put this on my YouTube channel, and also I will link it through the Paladin thing for the hashtag. So yeah, you guys do have recorded that you actually are here. So you guys can go do what you want to do. I'm not gonna hold you for any much longer. Thank you guys for attending the meeting. So stay in touch, guys. If you got any questions, you always can come ask me and Herm. So you guys are free to do what you want to do. So go run your heroics or go get your world quest done or whatever you want to go do. Go get it done. So you guys have fun. Thank you for your time.